It's never enough to beat Merab, the bantamweight GOAT. Yeah,
Merab's
he's going to be the GOAT.
Yep.
Bantamweight GOAT for sure. It's going to take a super fight to stop him. It's going to take, because I know he said he respects Volkanovski, so he's not going to move up.
Yeah.
But it's going to take like him running into someone who can physicality with him, because, you mentioned Sandhagen not rolling for the legs. I think, Chimaev's like this as well. You think, I'll just do something different in the grappling. We were talking about this on the pod in person. And I think Sandhagen realized this guy's strong, man.
Yep.
He's real strong. He's real sturdy. And he's also like a stocky guy for the division. So it is hard for a lanky guy like Sandhagen to get under him without ending up on his head upside down, which I think did happen at one point, which is what you were talking about, where he sort of ended up sort of upside down on Merab, and then Merab's hitting him. And maybe once Merab hurt him on the feet, Corey was like, okay, let me not end up on bottom, because he does have some heat in his hands. You know what I mean? But I agree. Maybe there's some adjustments. I think, but that's the thing. I think Corey did a good job, but it just still isn't enough.
Yep.
Merab keeps pushing. Merab keeps rolling on. And for the rest of the division, who's going to beat him? I don't see Yan doing it, because I don't think Yan's got, I mean, based on the first fight, that was almost the worst performance against Merab. I mean, because it's just too much volume.
Yeah. And I think Merab is just way too much as a physical presence that, you look what Aljo was able to do to Peter Yan. And then the first time Peter Yan and Merab fought, I might potentially be able to see Peter Yan in Japan in November. So maybe I might get a chance to, move around with him. But I just don't think I think Peter Yan has the striking ability, like good hands, get him nice and tight, drop something down the middle. But I think Merab's too good with the distance. And I think Merab, once he gets his hands on him, it's just not going to be pretty.
Yeah. And I also think that Merab was more of an incomplete version of himself when he fought Yan compared to what he is now. Whereas Yan, I think, is still Yan. Like, he's maybe added a couple tricks, but the ways that he's added tricks are like with his takedowns.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, that's not the answer here.
Yep.
The answer isn't to add mixing takedowns to your game in order to overcome Merab. Whereas Merab's added striking into his game and some more heat in his hands. And I think that will really aid him against Yan. Yan's good, though, because he's vicious.
Yep.
He can cut. He can swell. He causes damage. So that's where maybe something could happen with Merab. He hits a lot harder than Corey Sandhagen also for Yan. But you're right. I don't see a guy in the division who's got it. You know, I really don't. With Umar Nurmagomedov, there's maybe a recipe there for some success. But I think, again, Merab has shown... Merab 2 fights ago was not the striking level that he's at now.
No.
You're on the feet with Sandhagen and you're putting heat on him. I'd never would have guessed that would ever happen for Merab when he was fighting Aldo, when he was fighting Yan, when he even first fought Umar. He kind of fought Umar and beat him with just the rear body hook.
Yeah. He
kept throwing the rear right hand to the body, but now if he's throwing heat upstairs on top of the pressure and the volume and the grappling, it's going to be tricky to beat.
Yeah, and I think I was talking to Joe Rogan this morning, and I said, dude, I think the only person who has potentially a chance to even give Merab a hard fight is Umar. And the only reason I say it's because Umar has that wrestling background, the will, the coaching. Towards, okay, him, Habib, Islam, the whole team, they sit down and they're like, okay, let's look at the first fight. Let's see where we were successful and where we came up short, right? Okay, the gas tank. We got to make sure we address that, right? But when it comes to the grappling exchange, when you guys are grappling and going for the takedowns, that's where I think that X factor is. Okay, now Merab's got hands. Okay, well, maybe we can draw him into a shootout and we can catch him. I feel he has the IQ, the coaching, the training to be able to match a guy like Merab. I don't think Mario Batista has it. Obviously Mario Batista and Umar Nurmagomedov have to fight next, so we'll see how that fight goes. But I think Umar's the only person that can give Merab a fit. Other than that, I don't see anybody. Sonya